Hello, Magic the Gathering players. This is Andy Shorto. Today I'm going to be covering the Dominaria spoilers of April 3rd and 2nd. I've been kind of behind on these. I've just been busy and trying to squeeze in the time I can. Also, I do apologize. I know down the list, or down when you scroll down here, it'll have the release of the leaked cards. I have decided I'm just going to go ahead and stick with the release of the cards coming out daily the next few days, so that I'll be on top of everything. So let's go ahead and get started. So April 3rd, actually one card that was just recently released was the Lyra Dawnbringer right before I started, so that's good. When I checked it when I first got up this morning. So Lyra Dawnbringer, 5-mana 5/5 legendary angel, flying, first strike, lifelink, and then other angels you control +1/+1 and have lifelink. A new angel for commander for sure. Definitely going to be most likely used in standard. There's also a lot of 4-drop angels here and there, so we'll probably see some sort of like angel tribal in standard maybe, and then maybe a very light angel theme in modern. But I feel like this is definitely going to be more commander suited. Definitely good as a standard card for maybe 4-drops and 5-drop angels, and then maybe a 6-drop angel here and there, and then the rest, mostly it's going to be mostly random commander. It's a very good commander option. I do plan on in the future doing a video of viable commanders for angels and demons and dragons. So stay tuned for those in the coming weeks. So yeah, I like it. It's good. So yeah. The next few, I will admit, I do like these legendary sorceries, but they're really going to stand out more in commander than anything. But Kamal's Druidic Vow, look at the top X cards of your library. You may put any number of land and or legendary permanent cards with converted mana cost X or less from among them onto the battlefield, then put the rest into your graveyard. So that's good. That's good. You're getting some advantage. Any number of land and or legendary permanents. And then the rest, like instant sorceries, regular creatures, all that goes down. Song of Freyalise, 2-mana saga. Until your next turn, creatures you control add a mana of any color. And then for the lore counter 1 and 2, then lore counter 3, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Those creatures gain vigilance, trample, and indestructible until end of turn. Wow. I will say that's a good trick to, build up to. So you have a few turns you're going to build up to. So you play this, and then pop it, and then eventually pop it one more time in a couple turns, and then you just bash in with indestructible, vigilance, and tramplers. That's awesome. Excuse me. Forebearer's Blade. Equipped creature gets +3/+0 and has trample and vigilance. So it's almost like Sword of Vengeance almost. And then whenever a equipped creature dies, attach Forebearer's Blade to target creature you control. That's kind of nice. It's going to be a commander staple. I don't see it being played in modern or standard. Maybe standard may use it. We'll see. Shalai, Voice of Plenty, 4-mana 3/4. You, planeswalkers, and creatures you control have hexproof. That's big. It's just like 3 different cards in one. Then also it puts +1/+1 counter on each creature you control for 6 mana, 4 and 2 green. Yeah, it's a combination of, let's look. It should give these options. Oh, it's just these 3, but, you're getting +1/+1 counter. Then you have, basically hexproof for you. And so Leyline of Sanctity is definitely one of them. So, actually, I like it. It'll see some standard play because it's giving you and creatures you control and planeswalkers protection. But also, it could definitely be used in Commander as another viable green-white angel staple. I feel like the other 2 green-white angels are better options, but hey, this still works too. Multicolor angels, definitely. Yawgmoth's Vile Offering, 5 mana to reanimate target creature planeswalker from the graveyard, and then it destroys up to 1 target creature planeswalker. Then you exile this card. So as long as you have a legendary, that's really big. In Commander, that's going to be a big blowout. It's going to be a good target to use, especially when you have your commander out, so it'll definitely be used. Sarah Angel's back. Don't know what to say about that. Lyra Dawnbringer is just already better. Naban, Dean of Iteration, 2 mana, 2/1. If a wizard enters the battlefield under control, causes a triggered ability to or of a permanent you control to trigger. It triggers a second time, so it's Panharmonicon on a wizard, so that's really good. There's a couple of wizards in Modern that really may make use of it. Snapcaster Mage, Venser are two big ones, so you could make a mono blue wizard deck with some counter spells, and then you got play this, and then a couple turns later you pop down, if it's alive still, pop down Snapcaster Mage, and then bolt and you know, bolt 2 creatures or something like that, because you get to copy that ability twice. That's cool. Copy the triggered ability, of course. Jaya's Immortalating Inferno. It just deals X damage up to 3 targets. So it's creature, planeswalker, or player. So obviously it has to be legal. It's another legendary. I will say I love the idea of these legendary sorceries. I'm sure in the next 10 to 20 years we'll eventually have legendary instants, but we'll see. I don't know if I'll be playing Magic by then. Maybe like I'm just gonna pass, but hopefully I am, because Magic's a fun game. Then we got 3 uncommon legendaries that are definitely good options for Pauper. From my understanding is Pauper chooses an uncommon creature as a commander, but now that they have uncommon legendaries, they can just choose from uncommon legendaries for Pauper commander. And so Pauper being all, the rest of the 99 being commons, while the legendary is an uncommon. So 5 mana 3/3, whenever land enters the battlefield under control, gain 1 life and draw a card. So it's definitely going to be heavily played around. I feel like these cards are definitely going to stand out more in Commander than anything. When at the beginning combat of each your turn, for each aura and equipment attached to this creature, create a 3/1 element, red elemental with trample and haste, and then you exile the tokens at the beginning of the next end step. So that one's, I feel like a mono red in aura / equipment deck is very viable, and this might actually be a good choice for a commander building around that theme, especially when you could bash in with a bunch of 3/1 elementals. And the Rono, Disciple of Gix, 3 mana 2/2. Winner's battlefield, you may exile target historic card, and then you may cast non-land card exiled with Rona. So that's nice. Oh wow, that's actually really good, because you can exile a legendary, an artifact, and a saga, and then you get to cast it. And then you pay 4, tap, exile a top card of your library. So you can also cast cards from the top of your library with this guy. So that's cool. So Chainer's Torment sounds similar to Chainer's Edict, so I'm sure there's something linked there, but not, as I'm quickly reading it. So deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life for the first 2 saga or lore counters, and then the third lore counter, create an XX Black Knight Horror, where X is half your life total rounded up. It deals X damage to you. Ooh. It's a painful creature. It's just a painful costing creature. We got a dinosaur. We recently had a set of dinosaurs, so we're getting another dinosaur. An Allosaurus, Territorial Allosaurus. Enters battlefield if it was kicked, if fights another creature. So the 4 mana 5/5 right off the bat. That's pretty good for green. And then you pay 3 additional, and then you get to fight something. It's not too bad. Then the next one, I know I got to click on these Japanese and Chinese and other language cards. So it's a 4 mana 2/2 flying bird. Whenever you cast a historic spell, return target creature card with a converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So this, I will say, has a potential for a mono white equipment or artifact deck in artifact, saga, and legendary deck in modern or commander. I don't see it being played in modern. It's so easily dead to bolt, but it dodges some other dodges fatal push. So it's not too bad. Will it be played? Maybe you could probably chain some stuff around sacrifice. Someone might actually try to build around it. It's kind of a saffron olive card from MTG Goldfish, so you might build something around it. Squeeze the Immortal, 3 mana 2/1. You may cast Squeeze the Immortal from your graveyard or from exile. It's a cool card. We have Squee, Goblin Nabob, and then of course there's some other cards that actually can be cast from exile, but this one also can be cast from graveyard, and it's a red card. You see that kind of stuff in black, and then maybe white, as well as Phoenixes in red. So yeah, I personally say I think it'd be kind of cool to see Squee come in as a planeswalker, a cheap planeswalker with only 2 abilities, because the third ability is like this ability here where you can cast it from graveyard or exile. I think it'd be kind of cool, but maybe it'd be a little too powerful. We'll see. Icy Manipulator's back. Demon Lord, Bells and Lock, 6 mana, 6/6, Flying Trample, Elder Demon. I like it that they're bringing in new types of Elder creatures other than just dragons. I'm not saying all. I feel like most should be Elder Dragon, but here and there adding an Elder Demon, Elder Spectre or something would be kind of cool, because they're powerful creatures. Enters the battlefield, exile cards from the top of your library to the exiled non-land card. Then put that card into your hand. If that card's converted mana costs 4 or greater, repeat this process. Then it deals 1 damage to you for each card put into your hand this way. It could be a costly card draw advantage, but hey, it's still, you're gaining card advantage. Commander, I can see it being Commander. It's a decent Commander, actual Commander card itself being the Commander, so. We'll see what transpires of this card. Some of these cards I don't have any predictions for. Some are standard. Icy Manipulator, that's going to be limited. Knight of Malice, 2 mana, 2/2, first strike, hexproof from white. I'm used to saying pro white, but it's hexproof from white. Then Knights, then it gets +1/+0 as long as a player controls a white permanent. What's nice is you can play this. It says any player. So you can play this turn 2, and then turn 3 you can play the white version, and then they just be pumping each other up. So yeah, it's not too bad. It's not as good as black and white Knights, I say. Weatherlight, 4 mana, 4/5. Well, I will say with this, going back to these Knights, you can enchant it with the color that it has protection from. So that's nice. So you have a black-white Knight style deck. Here you go. So Weatherlight, 4 mana, 4/5 vehicle. So we got another vehicle. Crew 3. When it deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a historic card from among them, put it into your hand, put the rest of them bottom of your library in any order. So that's not too bad. I like it. It's card advantage when it deals damage. And then its ability is kind of copied onto Board of the Weatherlight, so I'm not going to read that. So put the rest of the bottom. Yeah, it's basically that, except you don't have to deal combat damage. You just cast the sorcery. I will say it's a nice white card advantage card. It's nice to get a chance to get an artifact, saga, and a legendary. So Board of the Weatherlight's good. Giora, 4 mana, 3/3. Whenever you cast a historic spell, draw a card. Good commander card, especially for equipment, any legendary, as well as sagas, but really a very good equipment option, and a vehicle commander as well, as long as it's not colored, of course. So yeah, I like it. Definitely commander viable, maybe standard. I don't see it modern unless someone's going to try to storm off with it, but we already have 2 white cards that actually work better with that, so we'll see on that one. But she has I guess lore goes, she drank some sort of like eternal water, and she's been around since the beginning. And that's why we see her in the time shift block, or time spiral block, and now we see her here. Raph, Capsheen, Ship's Mage, 4 mana, 3/3, flash flying. You may cast historic spells as though they had flash. Good for artifact decks, Esper artifact decks, or blue-white artifact decks. It gives another chance to allow artifacts to be cast at instant speed, and this I'm referring to commanders, so yeah, it's not too bad. Next we have 3 more uncommon legendary creatures. 3/3 Death Touch, Lifelink for a Vampire Knight. Other legendaries get +2/+2. You control, it's okay. I think the fungus one is going to be really good out of these 3. Well, yeah, these 3, at least especially in Commander, gives more fungus sapperling support, and that's what people need. Whenever a sapling you control dies, deals 1 damage to each opponent, and you gain 1 life. So it's kind of a drain effect. So this is definitely I feel like the best version, best card for sapling fungus decks. So Tiana, ship's caretaker. Whenever or equipment is put into the graveyard from battlefield, you may return that card to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step. It's okay. Commanders, a lot of these cards ring commander, which is fine. We got a new Mox Amber. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary creatures or planeswalkers you control. So it's just a Mox, but you have to make sure you have a legendary creature or permanent you control. And it has to be creature, it has to be planeswalker, so no lands, no colorless creatures or planeswalkers. It has to be colored. Because of course any color, or unless it actually stated you can add a colorless for colorless ones, but it doesn't, unfortunately. But yeah, it's not too bad. You have a new Mox in Magic. I see this definitely commander. It's just another commander staple. Then the last 3 cards, Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I've kind of covered these in a video before when I was covering the leaks. This one and Gyra Ballard. But yeah, basically you draw a card, then you untap 2 lands at the beginning of the next end step. So it's not immediate like Garrick, but at least you're getting them for like counterspell effects. So it's definitely Venser / Teferi. They seem like they're the blue-white buddies for control Magic, especially Commander. Put target non-land permanent onto its owner's library, 3rd from the top, so as removal, protects itself. You get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent opponent controls. It's kind of like Venser's Ultimate. Cast spell, exile target permanent. This is whenever you draw a card, though. So if you have Venser and Teferi together, and you have their ultimates, you're just eliminating permanents left and right. It's kind of sad. It's kind of crazy. Commander will you'll see some Commander game that'll have that. Jaya Ballard, 5 mana, 5/5. Again, just, add 3 for instants and sorceries, discard up to 3 cards, and draw that many cards. And then you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell from your graveyard. Oh, wait. You may cast them from your graveyard. If card cast this way would be put in the graveyard, exile it instead. So it just basically gives all your instants and sorceries flashback with the converted mana cost. So yeah, her ultimate's good. It rings commander viability. I don't see that one. I see more Venser standard and maybe modern optional. We'll see. And then Cargo Skin Witch, just a 2 mana 1/3. If it's kicked, each opponent discards 2 cards. So, but that's April 2nd and 3rd of Dominaria spoilers. I'm going to try to actually get tomorrow's and the next few days out, so stay tuned for those. Again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate those watching the videos. I'm glad I've actually hit my 100th subscriber. I'm gonna try planning to do a video or maybe just a live stream for hitting 100 subs. It's a starting milestone. So the next one I think would be 1,000, then I think 10,000, then 100,000. But then there's also some mid milestones throughout getting up there. So again, thanks for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.